Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Tamara. I don't even ask me why I be just really doing the most. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, really, it's just, I want people to say my name right. Like when you don't even have to sing my name, but when I hear people talk about me on their shows and they say my name wrong, I'm just not used to that many people saying my name wrong. Usually it's a person here and there, but I don't know. Anywho, welcome to the Tamara to the Break of Dawn show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new episodes drop every Thursday, so make sure you come back through all my day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whenever you came in, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all for continuing to come back week after week and all that good stuff. Apparently somebody in the world, side note, is taking a shower. So if y'all hear that noise, I apologize. But anywho, welcome to the show. Follow me on social media. My social media handle's at the bottom of the screen if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening, it's on my website, which is in the episode notes, tamarathedon.com. You feel me? Okay. So happy first Thursday of Black History Month. So this month, I'm going to do things a little bit different as far as the shout outs. I usually do podcast shout outs, and there may be some of that, I don't know, but for sure this month I definitely want to spotlight some Black owned businesses, you know what I'm saying? Try to get them some free, because nobody asked me to do this, just like no podcasters asked me to do stuff. I just be trying to shout people out and use the platform I have for good. You feel me? But I want to do a shout out for a Black business. Now this one was kind of easy because it's my braider. So if you live in where I live, but if you live in the Omaha, Nebraska area, I don't live in Omaha, but she's based out of Omaha, and her name is Reese, and I will have her website in the episode notes. So if you are there and you want to get your hair done, she does all kinds of stuff, braiding, crochet. I mainly get off into crochet just because it's better for my hair when I do that. But she does all kinds of stuff. And so check her out. Don't tell her I sent you, unless one, which since we being petty on this episode, because y'all saw this is the Petty Tam Chronicles. Let me tell y'all how people are just real funny. So I'm trying to think of how long she's been doing my hair. I don't even know, but my friend Aquisha, who's been on here, she's the one who recommended her. She vouched for me. And so I'm very big on my nail to anybody who's done my hair. Okay. Maybe not all of my life, but for sure now, my braider, my nail tech, any service I get, I always tip them. Everybody has their different views on that, but I just appreciate the fact that y'all got me out here looking, you know what I'm saying, and feeling good and all that. So I tip them. And also, I don't no call, no show. I usually don't even cancel, because my hair and my nails, that's like, some people care about clothes and I care about my hair and my nails, and whatever else happens after that, it just is what it is. But I don't so I rarely cancel, but I definitely don't no call, no show. I'm, decent and whatever. And so I remember one time somebody had lied to my braider and basically made it seem like I sent them. And she asked me if I sent them, and I'm like, I mean, I know them, but I'm not going to vouch for them because I don't know how they are as a client, as whatever. don't be trying to ride on the coattails of my good clientship or clienthood or whatever to try to just no. So don't do that. But shout out to Reese. Like, she does my hair, my daughter's hair, professional. Man, I've watched her daughters grow up. Like, it's just crazy. So definitely check her out. Her website will be in the episode notes. Other announcements. February 10th is my next live show. So that's a Wednesday. I got something special planned for y'all. So that's actually like next week, Wednesday. So be looking out for more on that. I'll probably start by the time this episode airs, I'll already be promoting it because I got a little something planned for y'all. Y'all know what I'm saying? So then what else? Oh, the next podcast happy hour this month. Autumn is hosting it. See, this is why I be telling y'all, follow my pod sisters, because then, you know, it hops around and whoop-de-woo. But she's hosting it. It's February 20th. It's probably going to be at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific, because that's kind of what we do, because we are all in different time zones. But if not, if that changes, I'll let y'all know. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. It's been a day, y'all. It's been a day. It's been a woo. Okay, so that is February 20th. More to come on that. Okay, I got all of my announcements out the way, and this petty episode is brought to you by the Tam Special. This is not my favorite cup, but it's one of my favorite cups. I've talked about it on here before, the cow cup. I just like big coffee cups that I don't know, I just find unique or whatever, but mainly it's the size. The size matters. Oh my gosh. But the size matters for coffee cups. Like, I don't like the coffee cups that I sell on my Teespring website. I'm really looking into doing something different because I don't like that they're only 11-ounce coffee cups. I've bought people's, but I've noticed that I don't really use them. So, I mean, they probably could care less. But, and it's not that I don't like the cups, it's that they're small. So I have like my favorite 5, because these 2 Starbucks cups that are like 16 ounces. Do I fill it all the way up with coffee? No, I don't. But that's not the point. The point is I like something big to be holding my Tam Special, which anyways. Let's move on. No inappropriate humor today. So, y'all. Okay, so I live in a suburb of Omaha. And people probably really don't really care where I live, but I just, whatever. So I live in a suburb, anyways, the suburb of Omaha, right? And y'all know, if you've been listening, I moved in May. I'm living in an apartment, which is different. I have not literally lived in an apartment since 2007 when me and my ex split. And even with that, it's not like I've lived in a bunch of apartments. I've predominantly lived in either townhomes or houses because I've never been a fan of being surrounded by a bunch of people. But y'all, the suburb that I live in, okay, so you know how like Omaha has the inner city and whatever. And so places that are quote unquote the ghetto in Omaha, I know those areas. I know different areas. You know, I'm not trying to live there. I'm not trying to live whatever. I didn't factor that in for where I live. And I really, 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 really think I have moved into the ghetto apartments. And I've kind of talked about that a little bit on here, but just some of the stuff that be going on, like, and I'm a person, I feel like I've said this on here before, that like you literally could show up at my house unannounced and it is going to be presentable to guests. I'm a person that needs order. I just function better when my space is organized and together and whatever. And so that's just regular stuff. We're not getting into like nasty stuff like food and all this stuff that I be seeing in the hallway. Now, granted, maintenance or management or whatever. At first, when I first moved in, if I ain't even gonna front, I would pick it up because it's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? You have people coming in, and normally I'm not embarrassed, which is funny, but that was something that I'm just like, I don't want that to reflect me because, whatever. So at first I would pick it up, but then I was just like, I'm not going to keep doing this. So one day, like months into living here, one day I was like, okay, it was hard because I live on the first floor. So most of what I know is like when you walk in my apartment building, you walk down to the first floor, like however many steps, and that's where you see all the stuff. I don't know if it's people's kid. I'm hoping, y'all, I pray. We got to pray just to make it today. I pray that this is not adults doing this. I know there are kids that live in my building because I be hearing them running around and whatnot. But I am hoping that these are the children that are doing this and not the adults. Nevertheless, when you walk in and walk down and then you go through this door, like at the bottom of the steps on the side, you will see a mess. You also see where there was a panel or something that was supposed to be covering under the steps, and it's kind of missing or whatever. And so I don't know, but there'd be like food, and then we had a big snowstorm not too long ago. And this is why I know apartment living just really it ain't for me, because they do like plow the sidewalks and the stairs and the what are they called, parking lots or whatever. They do that. Yeah. But where I think they're not factoring in the fact that people might have to leave is, so when they plowed or whatever, it's piled up behind the cars. So like, it's just not for me. Thank God I have an SUV. So the day that I actually had to take my daughter to school, I just kind of drove up over the snow. I don't know if a car would have been able to do that as easily, but I was able to, but still. But I really do think, though, snow aside, just a lot of the things people, I don't know, like, don't take pride, I feel like, in where we live. And it's not like we live in this luxurious place, but at the same time, but it's not raggedy either. But mindset, and this is where, like I said, I had not factored in, because where I live, usually there's a lot of, like, it's closer to the military base. So it's kind of like, I grew up military. That's a different mindset, a different lifestyle, whatever. I just kind of had higher expectations for, I don't know, and I'm very disappointed. And it's the ghetto, y'all. I'm like, the longer we're here and the more that happens, I'm just like, I don't know about 2 years. For sure, I'll be here for my year, and I plan on staying through the end of Janae's senior year, but I don't know, man, because we'll see, though. Obviously, y'all will know, whatever. All right, moving on to the next thing. So this isn't really petty towards anybody else. It's just something I noticed, a couple things I noticed about myself before I hop on some other people's necks or whatever. Well, really, it's just one scenario. The other is just, y'all know I don't mean no harm or nothing like that. You feel me? So it's not like that. But anyways, to me, so what I've noticed about me is I have to stop saying what I won't do, because I noticed that there have been a couple things lately that I'll be like, I ain't about to do this, and then I do it. And I don't do it on purpose. Like, I don't intentionally be like, I'm not going to do this, because I know I'm going to do it. In that moment, it's my truth, and I'm not going to do whatever it is. But I'm learning I got to stop doing that, because then I might look like a liar, you know what I'm saying? But then also I need to, like, not be so quick to I don't know. I just need to stop saying so let me give y'all Let me give y'all an example. And this is the first one that comes to mind. There were actually two things I had in mind, and we'll see if the other one comes to me. But y'all know how my mind is sometimes, so it may come and it may not. But this one I actually talked about here on the show. So if you remember the New Year's, and I just specifically remember this, I think maybe because I was talking to someone else, but if you remember the New Year's Eve episode, I was, Juice was my guest. Shout out to him, because anytime I asked him to be on the show, he'd be like hella hype about it, and like his energy is just so dope. Shout out to him. Chilling with Juice podcast, if you want to check him out. Okay, so when he was on here, we were talking about, I don't even know, freedom to thirst trap something. And I was saying that what I wouldn't do on the Instagram, I don't know if it's called a timeline, but not the stories. What I had specifically said that I wouldn't do is, I'm not about to be on here in no picture. I was talking about my progress pics that I post, because honestly, like I've said on here before, I don't remember the last time I weighed myself. I will weigh myself at the end of February just to kind of gauge where I'm at, but I don't like weighing myself because the scale can be very deceiving, water weight or fluctuate or whatever. And I've noticed for me that if I don't like the number, it can be discouraging. So I just take progress pics, because though the number, whatever it may be, may not be what I want it to be, I know I'm seeing progress in my pictures. You know what I mean? So anywho, what I had said that day is, I was like, one thing I'm not finna do is, I'm not about to be on here in no picture and no bra and panties. I had said that, y'all. I said that, and I genuinely meant it in that moment. And then not even a month later, I posted a picture that was my progress pic. And so that's an example of, I gotta stop saying. Now, the thing about it is, I will own up to it. Like, I'm not the one that's gonna be like, no, I ain't never said that. I know what I said, and I fully meant that in that moment. So maybe I got to maybe I just need to not speak so quickly on things, so that I can allow myself to decide how I really feel about something, or grow past that, or I don't know, but I got to stop saying what I won't do. So that's me hopping on myself. Part 2. This applies to me specifically, but I'm pretty sure it applies to y'all. So, or to somebody, but probably you too. Y'all, with the Tam special, Cafe Dolce. Yes, I remember what it's called this time. I usually refer to it as the Mexican one, which, whatever, but it says like from Mexico on the bottle or something. That is literally my favorite coffee liqueur to go in my coffee. I used to want to try all these new ones, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to that. Maybe not. Like, things be exciting, and then I'm just like, whatever. And, it is what it is. But the Cafe Dolce is life. It is just, and I don't drink the Tam special every day, but let me tell you, when I do partake, it just makes me so happy. But moving on to the next thing. So I was having a conversation with someone, and so, triggers, that's a big thing. Like, I'm triggered because, and in case you don't know what it means to be triggered, which I usually look up the exact definition of things, but I just didn't even think about it this time. So what I'm going to say I'm going to look it up while we, on the show. While I'm recording, because that, I don't like to give y'all incorrect information, and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and look it up. So trigger. I'm gonna need the verb. Maybe I don't need the verb. Maybe I need... Hold on. This ain't giving me what I want. Does it even really mean that? You know what I'm... This is why I look up words, because if you don't know, like sometimes people use like slang, for example, like petty really doesn't mean the way we use it. Petty, the definition of the word petty is of little or no importance or consequence, of lesser or secondary importance, merit, etc., having or showing narrow ideas and interests. Maybe that could go into it. Mean or ungenerous in small or trifling things. Of secondary rank, especially in relation to others of the same class or kind. I don't know. But the part about being mean is like a later definition. And I wonder if that was added, because I know I'm looking at dictionary.com. This is so off topic. Let's move on. Triggered might not mean what we think it means, to the whole point. But I guess what I'll just describe it. Basically, when you have been triggered, ultimately what that means is that there was a negative, usually, event that happened in your past, and then something that's happening right now triggers the same feelings that were connected to that previous negative event. Okay. So I was talking to somebody and I was telling them how what they were doing was like triggering me. And it was, but in the midst of that conversation, what I realized is, because I like was getting an attitude and I was irritated and whatever. And sure, I was, triggered, but what I realized in that scenario is that it's not their responsibility to handle... it's not their responsibility to worry about whether or not they're going to trigger me. More so, it's my responsibility to heal, deal with my stuff, and whatever. Sometimes you can't help being triggered, but the point I'm trying to get at is I feel like so many people that I see, and I see it a lot on social media, where, oh, I'm triggered, and then you think everybody's supposed to just jump and change and move and do all these things, and that's not how it goes. Especially sometimes people aren't even like doing things on purpose. And in this particular situation, the previous event literally had nothing to do with this person, what was going on. And so I don't know if this is even petty, but my whatever to that, I guess I'll say encouragement, because y'all know I like to try to keep it positive for the most part. But my encouragement is, man, deal with your stuff. You know what I'm saying? I share what I'm going through, not just to be telling my business, because it's a lot of stuff I don't tell y'all, because what is the point of it? You know what I mean? There is a point to me being a transparent. There's a point to anything I say, and 9 times out of 10, I am talking about something I'm going through or I relate to, usually, except for the petty episodes that sometimes don't got nothing to do with me. Usually I'm, worrying about myself and my issues first. And so when you think about, and you want to say you're triggered and you want to say whatever, you may be, but you also might need to just deal with your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be letting our... let me say this carefully, because nothing is black and white. There's always an outlier situation to every rule or whatever. No rule is 100% concrete for the most part. I'm sure there's an exception to that. You know what I'm saying? Because 2 + 2 always equals 4. Although you never know, because the way this new math be set up, who knows? And I don't even be trying to... I already told my kids a minute ago, don't ask me to help you with your math homework, because I'm going to teach you how to do it the right way. I don't know what the hell this confusing stuff they got going on. But anywho, there are always exceptions to the rule. So I know this isn't always applicable, but for the most part, what I see, and I keep hitting the mic, and I'm sorry. For the most part, what I see is I see people use either a label or whatever. I don't want to say diagnosis because it's not always that, but like use these things as a crutch. Take that with a grain of salt, because I'm not talking about scenarios where people really cannot help it. But there are, like my situation, for example, I was triggered, and then in that moment, really, I didn't even have to tell that person that they triggered me when I really think about it, because it wasn't a scenario where they were doing something on purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's just what was going on reminded me of something I have been through before. So with that whole triggered stuff and just a lot of these terms people use, oh, that's toxic. People are not toxic just because they're trying to call you out on stuff. People are not toxic just because they're trying to have some accountability. People are not toxic just because they're trying to maybe establish a boundary or call you to a higher standard, or all these things that people like. They have this mindset of like, I don't want to grow, it's just the way it is and whatever. Then not why are you here, because that sounds just crazy. I don't mean it like that, but like there should never come a point in life where you're just not about trying to grow and just feel like you've arrived at some place. There's always room for growth. There's always room for whatever. And when you're being unhealthy, the last thing you need to be trying to tell somebody is, oh, well, it's just the way that it is. And if you can't accept it, whoop-de-woo. And okay, I mean, you have that right. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta sometimes deal with your stuff. And hopefully you tracking with me, because y'all know I'll be trying to be vague for the most part, and I don't be wanting to like call people out like that on here, because like, for one, I didn't ask their permission or whatever. But it is what it is. I try to be vague so y'all can focus on what's important. Focus on what's important. What's important is, if you're triggered, deal with your issues. You know what I'm saying? Don't use that as an excuse of, oh, I was triggered. Okay, but why? Because that root emotion that's there, that's triggering that uncomfortable or negative, whatever, it's there for a reason, and you're feeling that for a reason. There's probably something you need to address. There's probably something you need to deal with. There's probably maybe some pain you need to let go of. You might need to go to therapy. You might need a journal. You might need to, whatever you need to do, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be using it as an excuse to like treat people or have an attitude or whatever. Like, once you realize what's going on, because at first, like for me, for example, I couldn't figure out why certain things would irritate me the way they did. You know what I'm saying? And then what I realized, it literally had nothing to do with that person. So I have to be intentional, and I have to actively decide, if I'm triggered again, what I'm going to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And hey, do I need to go back to therapy or whatever? We technically do family sessions every week, but it's not really focused on me like it is, but it's more so parent me. You know what I'm saying? It's not really about whatever I may be feeling. So who knows? Maybe I need to do that, or maybe I just need to, I don't even know, because I don't pretend like I know everything. I do have a lot of knowledge because I've life experience, but then I've also, my degrees in psychology. So I studied a lot of this stuff in school, and then I've worked in the social work field for over a decade. So you learn a lot of stuff and retain it. But my whole point is, triggered can't be an excuse. You know what I'm saying? All right. So on to the next thing. Let me go on and hold on. No, I'm gonna save that one for last. Let's talk about joint Facebook accounts. Okay. this is something I can say I will never do ever for so many reasons. But why this came up is someone I know, them and their spouse had a joint Facebook account. Okay, cool. That's what y'all wanted to do for whatever reason. And in this situation, I am more connected to one person than the other, you know? And then I was scrolling Facebook one day, which is, I don't want to say it's rare, but kind of, because I don't usually scroll like that. I usually post and go. And if I have notifications, see what that's, talking about. I don't really be scrolling on the Facebook like that. But I happen to see where one of the people in the coupleship, one of the spouses made this post about how them and their spouse had separated or split or whatever. And what made me kind of like, huh? Because I noticed the name was only one of them. And I was like, wait, what is happening? So then that's the first thing I noticed. Then I read the post, because at first I was like, who the hell is this? Because also the way people be changing their names sometimes, I'm trying to tell you, I'd be like, who the hell? And I expect that on Twitter with certain of my Twitter peep folks. Like, one, shout out to Penrose and shout out to, again, Juice, because they be changing their Twitter handles like frequently. And Juice changes his pictures, so I really be like, who the hell? But on Facebook, I don't expect all that. You know what I mean? But people be Facebooking and they be changing their names or whatever. So that threw me off. And then the person made this whole post about how they're going their separate ways, da 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 da. But the thing that was said was, and I understand if you need to remove yourself from the page if you don't agree or, whatever, as you see different lifestyle changes and whatever. And then I noticed, because they were like, because they've moved on. And I've felt conflicted ever since, because I'm not as connected to this person that did all this and said all this and changed the Facebook to their name. I'm not as connected to them as I am the other person. And I don't see that the other person, they might not even have been made a Facebook page, because I don't see them. And also, I didn't really see them posting like that anyway. It was mainly the person who has taken control of the Facebook account. But I'm conflicted, because then it's like, okay, they've moved on. They're in a whole other relationship now, posting they new person and this, that, and the other. And by all means, I'm not saying people got to stay together. That is not the point of this. The whole point of this, because, this is petty. This is why you shouldn't have no damn ass joint Facebook account. Like, I have never understood the point of that, because for one, what if, now, ratchet stuff aside, so I'm not even saying like anybody's trying to be slick, anybody try to whatever. It's just, I think of me, for example. There are youth that have like maybe messaged me on Facebook. There have been women that have messaged me on Facebook because of the work that I've done, wanting advice, wanting whatever they want, that they are reaching out to me. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my jobs require a lot of confidentiality, and I don't always have the population of people that I work with on my Facebook. But when I was doing youth ministry and working with youth, I would, add them, a lot of them, to my Facebook if they added me. And then if they didn't, that's fine, whatever. I don't know. And in one way, it's to each their own, because I see a lot of people talk about the whole joint Facebook thing or whatever. And it never really mattered to me. I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I'm married. First of all, and I feel like I've said this on here before, I don't even know. I don't know. Like, as I've said, I've been divorced since 2007. I didn't have a Facebook until 2010. and things that I've been thinking about a lot lately now that like I'm a podcaster and I'm not a celebrity. I'm not saying that, but I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm on Instagram a lot. And because people listen to the show or they like that I retweet their stuff or whatever reason, people follow me, interact with me, whatever, I just couldn't imagine. Like, I don't even have my kids. Like, you notice when Kayliana was on here last week, ain't no social media information for her in my episode notes. Like, I just really want, like, I don't tag my mom or I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want my life to be separate. So there's that. Like, I don't even know what that would look like to prior to podcasting and other things I'm doing and trying to launch or whatever. So prior to that, I couldn't have imagined just being on, like, having all these people in my business, or I don't know. I couldn't even imagine that, let alone now. You know what I mean? But I for damn sure ain't trying to have no joint Facebook account. If, excuse me, let's say I get married and let's say he's on my Facebook. Let's say he's even on my Twitter and Instagram because he doesn't care about whatever and wants to whatever. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that because, like I said, I like my life. I like to have as much transparency. I'm transparent about the things I want to be transparent about, but I'm actually a private person. So make that make sense. Whatever. It makes sense in my mind because I know I don't be telling y'all all my business all like that. But I couldn't imagine having a joint Facebook account. But then why this came up, because then, like I said, then when you split, and I've seen other couples have a joint Facebook account and then split, and it's kind of like, what was the point of all that? Like, why didn't you? And then they'll get separate accounts when they split. So why? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. That will never be me. That's something I could say I won't do because no, like for what? We do not, it's social media. We do not need to be that joined together. And if you are that concerned about, you think I'm about to be out here doing whatever, first of all, you don't even really understand who I am as a person, because all the dudes that I interact with or whatever, everybody's the homie. You know what I mean? Like, and I could be like, I love you. I could be like, whatever, but I love you as my friend. I love you as I got love for you. Or if I send a heart or whatever, to me, people is just my homies. You know what I'm saying? But then on top of that, whoever makes it to actually, this is my man, let alone this is my husband, because it's not like I'm this like difficult person. I just really am very focused on what I'm focused on right now. And a lot of it is myself and everything related to what I'm trying to do with this show and other things I'm working on right now, which y'all will hear more about it once it's ready to be heard about, you know, behind the scenes, whatever. But just know I got some stuff in the works and that's all I'm focused on. So me, my kids, obviously I got to work and working out, and that's it. So first of all, if you made it to where I made time for you and whatever, that's amazing. But then we ain't about to have no joint Facebook account. Like, what the hell? So I just find it funny that I can think of 3 couples that had joint Facebook and Instagram accounts, and none of them are together. So you trying to tell me all that social media? See, this is where the pettiness comes in from me, because I'm just like, all that social media oneness and all that, whatever, y'all still broke up. So then why didn't y'all just do, I don't know, separate accounts in the get-go, to where now making it about me, I don't have to feel conflicted of, because like when people go through divorces and stuff like that, it affects everybody. Like, even if people I know, we don't even have to go as extreme as a divorce because not everybody gets married. But even if people just break up, like it affects everybody that was like mutual friends. It sometimes it's awkward and whatever. I'm not trying to have all that awkwardness on social media though. Like, again, to each their own, but that won't be me. And it don't make sense to me. So that's all I got on that. I'm not gonna say there's nothing positive I can see about. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe. See, I don't want to speculate on whatever. So joint Facebook accounts, in my opinion, or joint social media accounts is just not the move. I will never do that. We just won't be together if you can't trust me. And it's not like it's just like I need to have my own thing. Like I need to have my own sense of whatever. I didn't have a Facebook until 2010, but if I've had it for 10 years or 11 years actually, by myself, what the hell I'm gonna just all of a sudden join with you because we're together? Like, because I've seen that too. I've seen where couples had their own separate ones and then join when they get married or whatever. And I'm just like, but why though? Like, I don't know. But again, to each their own. I just had to be petty because I'm just conflicted because I'm like, I don't know. I haven't deleted this person. I don't know if I am. I don't really know. I just kind of move on and I'm just keep seeing stuff. They just happen to be on the feed. Whenever I get on, they just right there with their new life. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm glad you're happy. Don't get me wrong, but you've just made social media so, I'm just so conflicted. You feel me? Like, where does my loyalty really lie? I don't know. So that's what we got on joint Facebook accounts. Now let's get into y'all. Man, dude. All right. So listen. First of all, shout out to Chris. She's so sweet. She like the fluting it up stick. I've talked about that on here. She like is very crafty or whatever. She's also a mixologist. We had the podcast happy hour that I hosted. When did I host it? When was that? That was the 23rd. So if you missed that, first of all, shame on you if you're one of my day one, because why would you just skip a whole episode? You should have been at the live show. Just saying. But if you didn't come to the live show, I get it. Everybody ain't got time for that, whatever. You should have heard it. So if you heard it, or if you didn't, I'm going to talk about it right now. So she sent us all each, and when I say us, I mean us podcast happy hour homies, because we're friends. The show is just us getting together and letting y'all see our foolishness, but we just had a video. We'll have video chats for all kinds of stuff. Okay. So what she and all of her kindness and all of her just really looking out for us, you feel me? She sent us one of her cups from her show, Shenanigans with Friend podcast. She sent us a drink that she made specially for us to drink on the show, because drinking, as you can tell, sip tam special. Hold on. Which almost made me sound like an alcoholic. But as you could tell, it's a happy hour. It's going to be some alcohol involved. You feel me? So she sent us that and a lovely little note. And she mailed it in plenty of time that it should have come here the Wednesday before podcast happy hour, according to what my USPS dashboard, because I get the little emails that tell me what's supposed to come. Mine didn't come in time. So I was the only one on the podcast happy hour not sipping the Chris special. I don't know if it's, I don't even know what name she had for it, if I'm honest. I'm sorry, Chris. But I don't think you told us a name. I don't think you did. But so we're gonna call it the Chris special and whatever. I didn't get to sip that. And not only, I didn't even get to sip it out of the Shenanigans with Friends cup. And I didn't get no encouraging note in time like everyone else. And this has been a theme where she'll send us stuff. The first one, man, I didn't get it for months because it, like, in the apartment that I live in, they have package lockers or whatever. So if whatever mail comes through the mail is too big to fit in your apartment mailbox, which thank God they're inside the building and I don't have to go outside in the elements to check my mail, but the package locker is in the clubhouse or whatever. So you'll get a notification, hey, you have a package. That's how it's supposed to go. No mail is ever supposed to go to the office. So I, because it never came to me and she had the confirmation that had been delivered, I thought one of my neighbors stole it. So I was like beefing, side-eyeing people and this, that, and the other. Then literally months later, the office called me and was like, we have some mail here for you. And they didn't even understand why it went there because that's not how it's supposed to go. So now you have that background information. That was the first thing she sent to us. Now, this second thing, everybody else got theirs. People were sipping it up and all that stuff on the episode. And in I cannot talk. The nice thing, or I don't want to say the nice, they did offer to not drink it because that way I wouldn't be the only one. But I'm like, no, do you? Because I knew that I was going to talk about this on my show, and I'm going to drag it all the way out. Now, like, it wasn't even really about to be all what it's about to be, but I need y'all to understand what's going on. So, okay, everybody got their drinks, they sipping it up, they whoop-de-woo. Today when I recorded it, I got the notification. It was a package. I went to the USPS thing. I saw it was from Vegas. So I'm like, oh, shoot. And we just happened to be on a video call. So I was like, okay, I've been on this whole like unboxing thing. And I kind of got that from when Beyonce be sending people the Ivy Park stuff or whatever, and they do this whole thing. So I was like, all right, we on this video call. That's dope. Y'all, I was still working when the notification came, and I paid my daughter because I was like, how much can I bribe you to go get this package for me? Because I was working, and plus I just didn't really feel like going to get it. Whatever, you can think I'm lazy if you want, it's cool. In that moment I was, but y'all know I be working out and I be doing whatever, so it ain't like I'm just hella lazy. Just in that moment I ain't feel like it, so I paid my daughter to go to the thing, to go get the thing, right? And I was happy. So we on this video call, and I'm like, y'all, okay, so I'm gonna show y'all how it went. I'm not gonna, obviously I can't unbox it because I already opened it. I almost wish I did so y'all can see my initial reaction, but that's okay because y'all know I am going to, people say I drag stuff out or I'm dramatic or I'm whatever. I don't, this is what I think it is. I don't think it's that I'm dramatic or I'm extra or whatever. I think that I am a very passionate person. I know that I am. And I know that when I am communicating with people, I want them to feel me. You feel me? And so I communicate things in a way so that you understand the emotions and you feel me and you tracking with me and all that good stuff. I'm dragging this all the way out, though. Y'all can say I'm dragging it out. Okay. Y'all. I'm going to show you some items. I'm going to show you. It's not going to be exactly how they came, but pretty much, you know. So here is the box. Now, I want you to pay attention to the way, if you can see, if you're watching, I want you to pay attention to the way this looks, okay? All right. So here's the box that the cup came in. Oops, I'm sorry. I really just keep hitting the mic. Here's the cup. So Shenanigans with Friends, her logo. And then on the back, it says the name of the show and the podcast. I mean, it's a podcast, which is just a thing. It's so cute. Like, and it's just I love little meaningful, like, you thought of me type gifts. So she could have sent me a pack of gum and I'd have been like, and wrote a note and I'd been like, oh, because she didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so here's the cup. Okay. It's important if you're watching, look at how the box looks. This is very important. It was not open like this. I opened it, but I will explain why this is so important for you to see all of this momentarily, y'all. Okay. So then also look at the envelope. Look at the envelope. This is all going to make sense, y'all. Trust me. This is the note inside. Don't worry about what it says because it ain't your business. But just look how dry all of this stuff looks, okay? That's important for you to know that everything in the box was dry. And not only was it dry, like, you can tell if this box specifically, if this box and this card, which were in there separately to where if they were going to get wet, if say like a drink spilled in the box would smell like alcohol for sure. And then on top of that, these things, though they would probably be dry, they would look like they have been wet. You know how paper and cardboard and all that stuff looks when it used to be wet and then it gets dry. Okay. I'm going to show y'all one more thing. I need y'all to look at this. I don't know how good y'all can see. The box is damaged. It's dented in. You can kind of struggle it. Dang, my address too. Okay, y'all don't need to see that. Just know there's a sticker on there that says "We Care." That the package was. Hold on, let me tell y'all what it says. Remember, there's a drink. I ain't got to that yet. It says "We Care." Y'all motherfuckers don't care, and I don't even usually be. Anyways, we sincerely regret the damage to your mail during handling at the postal service. We hope this incident did not inconvenience you. Realize that your mail is important to you. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all niggas is lying. And I'm going to tell y'all why. This that I'm holding up that you can see if you're watching, this is how the drink came. Now, I didn't drink this. It came literally just like this. It was in this blue bag, just like this. So when I looked at it, I was kind of like, why doesn't it? Because I knew how everyone else's looks. So I was like, why does mine look different? But then I thought, because we were trying to decide if I could even drink this because it got here so late. So I was going to put it in the freezer. And I was like, y'all, if I die, I die. Because that was just the type of day that it's been. Pulled it out the bag. It's not sticky or none of that. You know what I'm saying? This mug is empty. It is empty. And on the side, it was slit open. Now, here is wherein the problem lies. Because our initial thoughts were maybe it spilled. You know what I'm saying? Because it could happen. We see the boxes dented. So my fear, first of all, was that the cup was going to be broken. Because I'm like, damn, did y'all just kick this mug? Like, this is a big dent that I don't know if y'all could see it as good on camera. But trust me when I say you could tell the box has been damaged. Okay. So I got past that. There's nothing in the box that was ever wet. I looked at everything in the box. So there's that. Also, I know they drank my stuff. What the conclusion that I have come to, and nobody can tell me different, is that somebody drank my stuff. So what I'm thinking is somebody was working and just cut that open and poured it in their little cup or their little whatever, and then put the rest of it in there. Because if it spilled, I would know. Because it would smell like alcohol, even if it was dry, or something would look like it used to be wet. And nothing, y'all. So these niggas stole from me. And I hate thieves. Like, and it's crazy because at a point in my life, I used to steal, not like, oh, I'm robbing banks and all this stuff. But I remember one time, and it was during the struggle, and this was many years ago. So judge me if you want it, man. If I got to telling y'all, who knows? You'll learn more about me as we go. But anyways, I used to be a thief, but it was more so based off survival, struggling as a young adult, single parent. Or, I mean, technically I wasn't single, technically, but I wasn't married, and I just, not like all the time stealing, but I just remember there was this particular period in time, and the thing about it is my son was with his dad, so it's not like my children are with me while I'm doing all this crazy stuff, but, my neighbor that I used to live next door in these duplexes I lived in, I used to break into her house while she was at work. And man, dang, this almost sounds like I'm about to justify, but whatever. At the time, it is what it is. She had like a whole pantry up in her house, like detergents, all kinds of stuff. And so I used to just, while she was gone, go in there, take whatever. And then one time I took it a little bit too far because I took her stereo, and I don't even know what made me do that. And then, you know, she may or may not have called the police, and she may or may not have like knocked on my door to see if I saw anything. And I might have lied and been like, no, I ain't seen nothing, this, that, and the other, whatever. Trust me, it came back to me because later in life, somebody stole. Not only did they steal from me, I mean, they did steal from me, but they stole my rent money, and I don't know who did it, but it was at a time when I kind of feel like I know who did it, but I can't prove it, and it doesn't matter at this point. I haven't talked to this person in God knows how long, but I feel like, so I had got my tonsils out when I was 25, I think 25 or 26. And me and my ex-husband, we were kind of beefing at the time. So my neighbor, she was kind of like not taking care of me, but kind of like she'd check on me. She even cooked for me because like you can only eat certain things when you get your tonsils out. And the thing about when you get your tonsils out as an adult, because I had waited so long, it's kind of like, it was just a lengthier healing time. Like I had to go through more bottles of pain meds and all this stuff just because that's how much whatever. And so it was during that time that you know, passed out because they gave me hydrocodone? They gave me something that was like a narcotic pain medicine or whatever. So they gave me that, and I'm like sleeping, and she's like checking on the kids and all this stuff. And it was during that time that I used to smoke cigarettes, and I would buy a carton and just put it in the freezer because I'm a person that I don't like to run out of stuff. So if possible, like right now, we have toilet paper packs in each bathroom, but then I'll also have a big whatever one in the storage room just because I don't like to run out of stuff last minute if I could help it. And so yeah, cigarettes came up missing. Not all my money, but some of my money, and it was part of my rent money. And it was after that I like never stole again. And stealing was kind of like a thing at different points in different ways, like all through our life. And some of it was like for no reason. Like a friend of mine and I were talking about when we were in high school and we used to steal, and it was like we really had no, like, I was not in need or whatever. I don't know what the hell I was doing that for, but I hate thieves though. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm convinced that somebody stole my drink and drank it. I wouldn't put it past. People do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it sounds crazy, but where the evidence supports it is if it spilled, there would be evidence in the box. Like the paper that was in there would be stained at the very least. It might not still be wet, but it would be stained. The cardboard that was around the cup would be stained. Hell, the damn envelope and the card that she wrote for me, that would have been stained. You know what I'm saying? Like something would have given an indication that it was just like, oh, somehow it spilled out. But that's not what it was. So it's like somebody in that post office, we don't know if it was in Nevada or we don't know if it was in Nebraska. Y'all NEs, y'all tripping. Y'all got me messed up because today was the day where I was literally about to unbox it and drink it while we were on the call and enjoy it and whatever. And that's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a thing though, because like I told you, the other stuff she sent took forever to get here. Everything else anybody has sent me has come. Like when I was sick and Jay sent me some drugs. No, it was some supplement or whatever. No, I didn't have the Rona, but she sent, you know, whatever. Everything else comes. The podcast happy hour shirts that she's actually the one who collaborated with Baylor, but shout out to Baylor for designing it and making them personalized and all that cool stuff. That came. I'm trying to think of other stuff. I mean, other people. Hell, all the stuff my daughters be buying from Amazon, I ain't balling like them. Must be nice when you ain't got bills for your job. No, I'm just kidding. But even stuff I've ordered, but they order a lot more stuff than me. None of that stuff has ever gotten stolen. Stuff that like has monetary value, like iPads or what are they called? AirPods. Obviously, this is nothing I've bought if I don't even know what it's called, but clothes, shoes. I'm trying to think of, I don't know, all the things that we've purchased collectively as a family and had sent here. Nothing's ever gotten stolen. So that is what I got for y'all. So, hold on. The last thing that I got is just some encouragement. Cause you know, I try to keep it positive. Like even when I'm being petty, it's not. Now, don't get me wrong. I can be a whole different kind of petty. You know what I'm saying? But mainly for the most part, it's always humorous, whatever. It's always, I'm more so being funny, but it's never really usually malicious. But I still like to end the show on a positive note. So if you don't hear nothing else I say, remember this part, okay? Do not forsake the necessary preparation that is often required or like important for the success of whatever you're trying to do. So I'm working on some stuff right now. Again, I'm very vague. You'll see when you see. And what I was going to do is I usually dive into things like when you look at my podcasting journey, now you can't tell just by going to whatever platform you listen on, but if you go to my YouTube channel, or even if you look at my Instagram or my Facebook page for the show, you can kind of see the journey as far as logos have changed. The way I used to do promo videos has changed. Hell, in the beginning, I didn't even upload videos of me. I didn't even record the way I record. So a lot of times I am a person that likes to just dive in, figure it out as I go, and then whatever happens, happens, and it's all growth and it's all whatever. But this thing that I'm working on now, I'm being a little bit more like, I've learned the beauty, and I feel like podcasting has helped with that, like of being more intentional and being more prepared with certain things, like releasing things you know, timing matters, you know what I'm saying? So like releasing things at specific times or whatever. But I just think sometimes we want to just do something so bad. And I'm definitely speaking to myself that I'm like, oh, I want this to happen now. And while I'm excited about it, and then sometimes you get in there and it's like, damn, I really wasn't ready for all this. And sometimes you want to hurry up and get somewhere and you're not really ready for that. And I even see that with like weight loss. It's an interesting thing because I told you about how, which now I'm officially, as you listen to this, like a year into my journey, because technically my journey started February of 2020 is when I started like being more serious and like asking for accountability, asking for whatever, because I had been on this yo-yo journey, up, down, mainly down, not much success, you know what I'm saying? And so even with weight loss, the interesting thing with all the progress pictures I take, part of why I take a lot of progress pictures, I didn't used to post them as much on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, I didn't at all, but people, oh, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? The same stuff I've been doing. I just don't post about it all the time. So, okay. And then I talk about it on here. So I've noticed as I post stuff, it gives me a level of accountability because I'm very public about my journey now. And my pride won't necessarily let me fail. And it is what it is. I think that's a good thing because it's like I'm accountable to everybody, even though I'm doing it for me or whatever. But the interesting thing about progress pics is that when I look at them, sometimes I ask my daughters, like, is that really what I look like? Because when I look in the mirror, a lot of times I still see who I was. Now, I've never been ashamed of me at any stage in life, even at my heaviest, you know what I mean? But it's just an interesting thing because taking the progress pics a lot, it's almost like preparing my mind little by little. Like if I never took a progress pic, I think it'd be interesting to think how I'd view my journey or if what I'd be doing if I didn't actually see the success. But the progress pics are helping me to kind of like prepare for where I'm going, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a good example, but in my mind, it makes sense because I can see myself at different stages instead of only seeing myself the way I was before I started, if that makes sense. So let's tie that into other stuff. Forget about weight loss. But I gave that as a more specific example because I got to be very vague about what I'm working on right now. So I'm working on something. And like I said, I was just going to dive in. And I had a consultation call with someone. I had said that before. Jackie, shout out to her. And I could have literally taken, I mean, she was so thorough and so detailed, and I took notes and she had answered questions. I could have just dove in and got started on what I wanted to get started on. But then an opportunity presented itself for me to like take some classes and do all these things to just be better prepared. And so with that, that's my encouragement. Like sometimes we want to hurry up and get somewhere, but the foundation that we need to be standing on when we arrive to wherever we're getting, a lot of times that's built and strengthened and whatever in the preparation stage. That I'm a very impatient person. So like whenever I have my mindset on I want this to happen, I want it to happen like right now. You know what I mean? And it doesn't happen like that. And I think that's why we can get caught up in self-sabotage too. That's for me, that's where that plays in sometimes, is that I want to hurry up and get somewhere. And then when it's not happening fast enough, like I was telling somebody, like it used to be that whenever I would start working out heavily, I would always start eating hella dumb. Like even if I wasn't like junk sweet, I don't really eat all that like that. My thing has mainly been like bread, pasta, you know, stuff like that. But I would start my journey and then immediately start self-sabotaging. I would start my journey, and what I learned, shout out to Paco. I've told y'all he's one of my accountability people. One of the things that I remember him specifically telling me, because he was like, I want you to do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. And I was like, why? But I was like, I'm going to do what you're suggesting because I'm going to be a willing participant, because obviously I can't do this on my own. Now I'm at a point where no, because still, that's still my accountability person, but the world is my accountability. That's why I post these pictures. So I can't even say there's ever a point with that but I'm more motivated, I guess, whereas before. But the thing he told me though is he was like, doing things in increments helps shift your mindset. And he was like, you really have to shift your mindset. And so what I learned from that, now I do my workouts all in one swoop for the most part, because I just carve out that time so I don't have to do it in the morning and do it at night. But still, starting with increments, shifting my mind to where even the way I do my workouts, it'll be sometimes 10 minutes of this workout all by the same person. Shout out to Bully Juice, because he has like so many different workouts on there. And somebody was like, I commend you for doing his workouts because he's on some like superhuman strength stuff or something, which dude is like a beast. He be posting Instagram videos, doing stuff that I'm like, maybe one day, but definitely not today. But one thing I've learned from a lot of the different workout programs I've done over the years is that when I'm struggling, I will modify a workout so I can keep going. And then what I've noticed is that the more I just keep going, then I don't have to modify stuff. So like burpees, and thank God I don't have to do a whole bunch of them, but burpees used to be woo, but now I can do more, per minute or 30 seconds or whatever, depending on the workout I'm doing. And so modify if you have to, because ultimately the way I look at it is, and this is what the experts would say, is do what you can, and then you'll, if you feel like it's too easy, then don't modify it. If you feel like it's still too hard, then try this or try that. So I've learned so many different modification styles for even jumping jacks. Like sometimes, listen. Okay, so he be having me do all kinds of stuff on these workouts. But jumping jacks and jump rope, but more so jumping jacks, I'll really be struggling with some jumping jacks. It's just, and I do them, but I've noticed that on one workout is like 10 minutes of jumping jacks, not like just 10 minutes straight, but it's like in 1 minute increments, then rest for 10 seconds or whatever. It'd be a struggle. It really be a struggle sometimes to get through a whole minute of jumping jacks. I don't even know why, because when he has me doing high knees and all, there's just something about that. But what I noticed is the more I keep going back to it, and then, like I said, if I'm struggling, modify a workout. And so I'm not about to give y'all no example on this video, but you can look up modified jumping jacks or whatever, jump rope too. Like there's different ways you could jump rope, because I look at it as long as I'm moving, as long as I'm whatever, but also ultimately my diet is the biggest thing. And like I've said on here before, I be cheating sometimes, but even with the cheating, it's not even that much, because my stomach just, and it's been like that, my stomach just can't tolerate certain things anymore. Like once I feel like in the last year, it also could be because I'm older, because I turned 40 in June, and I know that I've heard on, I don't know, I've just heard people, oh no, it was on this episode Autumn had where her her guests were talking about just the different changes that suddenly happen. So it could be now that I'm older, my body is like, girl, if you don't get your big, you know what I'm saying, get up out of here with that. But whatever it is, modification is okay when necessary. You got to change your mindset. And doing things in increment helps with that. Let's back up to the point. But the main point is don't forsake the preparation that is necessary, because I feel like your mindset has to be changed even when you're doing something like working out. And that's the preparation, you know what I'm saying? Because I've heard so many people say things similar to what I said, where sometimes I still see myself, like, it's just weird. I still see myself as if I've had no progress. And then sometimes I see my progress. It's a very weird thing, but the pictures don't lie. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I do progress pics. But yeah, man, you gotta, like, sometimes it's cool to just dive in and start stuff. And that's honestly what I prefer. I prefer to figure it out as I go. But man, you can't ignore the preparation, because sometimes you're not ready for what you want until you go through what you need, that either is going to give you the knowledge or the maturity or whatever. It could give you things, the insight, hell, the skills, finances, whatever you need for whatever you're trying to do, right? But then on the flip side of that, sometimes it removes, sometimes things are pruned away, or what's another way? Cut away, that you don't need. So sometimes your toxic traits are exposed. Like, it's through this journey that I realize how much I self-sabotage. You know what I mean? And so I've been having to be very intentional about, okay, when I'm in my feelings, what's a better way to help to handle this than comfort eating? You know what I mean? Or when don't feel like working out, but I'm I work out anyway, and then I'll put on the thing, I ain't feel like working out today. Now then there's sometimes that I just really can't work out because migraines or whatever, but it's okay, then you get back to it. But that's my encouragement to y'all. Like, aside from all the petty stuff, these are fun, entertaining episodes. They're fun for me to record, but the ultimate purpose of this show is always the foolishness that I'm going through and the ways that I'm trying to grow. And so, don't forsake the preparation. So, like I said, I'm going to be starting some classes soon. That's going to be interesting. I ain't been in school since 2015 when I graduated college. But it's not like I'm doing a whole trying to get a degree. So it's not going to be as strenuous, but I know that preparation and everything I'm going to learn, and even some of the benefits that I'm going to gain from being a part of this program, and like the support that I'll have after the fact, and the benefits and all that I'll have once I complete the program, it's worth it for me to set myself up for success by having a solid foundation that I'm going to be standing on. So just remember that, like, sometimes we get in such a rush, and then you know what? If I die tomorrow, I'm not going to achieve whatever I was trying to achieve. And so don't forsake the journey. That's the bonus encouragement. Like, sometimes life is not about just getting from destination to destination or goal to goal. Sometimes it's literally about the journey and you discovering who you are or who you're not, depending on how you look at it, on the way to wherever. And that's what I learned going through college, or every goal I've ever set. I've noticed I'm so whatever when I'm working towards it. I just remember when I was in college, like, I can't wait till I graduate. I can't wait till I graduate. I can't wait till I graduate. And then I graduated, got my bachelor's degree, all that good stuff. Yay! And then I'm like, okay, now what? Because all my focus was, I can't wait till I get here. And then I get there, and then it's like, okay, now what? And so because I know that, don't forsake the journey. You know what I mean? Like, I look at podcasting, for me, like, obviously we know I still work, so I'm not out here doing this full time, making it big in the podcasting game. That's not even really my goal. Hey, if it happens, I ain't tripping, but that's not really my goal, because for one, I do more than just podcasting. I podcast, I blog, and then this other stuff I got that I'm, whatever. So plus that's just work, kids, whatever. So the thing though with this podcasting journey is how much I've discovered about myself, how much the people I've met, the whatever, how much I've been able to grow within this craft, but just as a person, because things like networking and all that stuff, that is not my first nature. Like in real life, okay, I don't know why I'd be saying that, like, but whatever. Who I am is I don't like small talk. Well, it's better now. I used to hate it at the beginning. I don't like small talk. I don't, just all these things. It's not that I don't like people, because I love people. I just don't like small talk. And that's usually what people come with. I rather just things happen organically and we talk about, I don't know, but I'm learning the beauty of both. Like small talk, like you can't always just go super deep with people right away. You know what I mean? Like there got to be levels to stuff. And I learned that about myself through podcasting. So even if I die right now, and I guess if I died right now, technically y'all wouldn't even hear this episode. Oh, hold on. Let me take a sip, because I don't know. I just be talking, y'all. But let's say I died tomorrow after this, whatever. I upload this and all that good stuff. I will not have accomplished any of my goals, but I'll have no regrets because of the growth and stuff that I've had on the journey to get where I'm going. So don't forsake the journey, y'all. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get up out of here. Plus I still got to eat dinner. So, there's that. Thank you so much, as always, for listening to me. Hopefully this episode makes sense. You had some good takeaways. If not, we'll try again. We'll try again next time, I guess. But don't forget, the live show is Wednesday. What did I say? Oh, Wednesday, February 10th at, dang, what time is it at? It's at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, I think. If that's wrong, then that means there'll be my little audio I'll be adding at the beginning to correct myself. But I'm pretty sure that's right. So 9/8 Central, live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. The links to all that are on my website, which is in the episode notes. Podcast happy hours February 20th on Autumn's platform. If you're not following her, go ahead and do that. The links to her stuff is in my episode notes. Excuse me. Take care of your mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, all that good stuff. Drink you some water, get you some sleep at night. So see y'all next time.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for